Sun Tran was born with 2 deformed hands, but only 1 arm. His parents believe it was the result of Agent Orange, used heavily in Quang Tri province during the Vietnam War. Many in the area, born long after the war ended, are still fighting their own battles. But this is not a story of what lies in the past. On the contrary, it's a story about a promising future, one full of hope and faith. Sun was the first child born to Hương and Sun Tran. In a culture where children with disabilities are sometimes abandoned or sent away, the Trans made a leap of faith. They sold what little they owned and left the countryside, where they felt even the able-bodied didn't have much of a future. They went to Ho Chi Minh City, formerly Saigon. They were homeless, sleeping in parks at night, picking through trash and looking for work during the day.
Do you remember those days at all?
No, I was a little kid.
His parents' one goal was to get their son an education. Not many schools would allow a child with special needs, but eventually, Sun remembers finding himself behind a desk. Something clicked. He excelled to the top of all of his classes. Reading, math, science, no problem. It was the simple, everyday tasks he struggled with.
Maybe go to the bathroom or riding or helping him with taking him back. So that's why my father's only want to stay around the school. So when I call him, he can be there to help me with those.
It was at times embarrassing, challenging, and frustrating. But Sun didn't feel sorry for himself. He felt blessed.
I feel so lucky that I still have my brains to go to school.
His dream was to come to America. Joseph Blake, admissions director for Fairmont Preparatory High School in Anaheim Hills, was scouting for gifted students in Vietnam when he met Sun Tran.
I was kind of taken aback because the agent had not explained, what a special student he was. And when he shook my hand, his eyes locked on mine. Exceptional.
Sun has attended Fairmont for almost a year now.
In 19 years in education, I've never met anyone quite like him, both intellectually and just as a person. He is, by far one of the best students I've ever encountered.
His writing is just absolutely incredible.
Holly Wilson has him in 2 of her classes.
I'll have 25-minute essay writes, and he can just, produce probably double the amount of some of my students.
That despite how his hand tires and hurts from holding a pen.
Ask a teenager what his dreams are and the answer can change from day to day. Well, after our interview, Sun pulled me aside and said, you know what? I'm actually living my dream right now because this is a slice of heaven for him. Unlike some students, he doesn't have to study, he gets to study.
I don't have so many friends because I spend most of my time studying.
And he's not exaggerating.
I don't stop like eating or having a snack. I study from 5 through 12 p.m.
No matter how I asked it.
What do you do for fun, Sun?
I read books.
What is your greatest hobby?
My greatest hobby is reading books.
The answer was the same.
What's your favorite kind of food?
My favorite kind of food? Actually, I don't care much about food. I can eat anything just to study.
Come on, don't you want to do anything else besides study?
Uh,
How about Disneyland? You want to go to Disneyland?
yes, I want to, but it's really expensive for a ticket. And because I think that you have to pay $80 for a ticket just to ride something, I can spend $80 to buy 2 books and read them during the weekend and then get the information from those books. It's really more helpful than to pay $80 just to write something.
But it sure would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yes. It's fun now, but it's sad later.
There's no doubt his parents have a lot to do with his drive. Even with his disabilities, he did well in Taekwondo.
My parents pushed me to do Taekwondo because they think that it will make me stronger. But most of the time in the Taekwondo class, I study.
And while he dares to dream big when it comes to what he can do with his mind, Sun is less certain when it comes to his hands. It's hard for him to give a hug or change his clothes. He still struggles with personal hygiene, but is more aware of its effects on his schooling.
Sometimes that during the test, my hands hurt, so I cannot finish the test.
At 17, he's never been examined by a doctor for his deformities, and perhaps because that's one thing that no amount of studying can accomplish, Sun doesn't talk much about how he wishes for artificial limbs. And in those seemingly endless hours of studying, he can't help but feel lonely, with his parents and little brother on the other side of the world.
I really miss them. But I know that if I miss them, I have to try to do myself better and better, study harder and harder, so that they will not be disappointed in me.
The kid is amazing. He's got a great attitude, he's a hard worker, a great personality. I'd love to see him do something great for this world because I think he has the capabilities of doing it.
There's not much to know about me besides I study every time and I'm shy. I think so.